Have you ever caught your man getting physically intimate with his brother, only to find out that it started even before you two were a thing? This story will shock you. He told me he was crashing at his brother's place. A guy's night, no big deal. I smiled, said okay, and even helped him pack a duffel bag. But as he walked out the door, something in my chest twisted. Something in my spirit screamed, "Follow him." I didn't plan it. I just found myself grabbing my keys and leaving 15 minutes later. No makeup, hoodie, Uber. I told the driver I was visiting someone around Gorimpa, but in my head, I was whispering, "God, let me be wrong." He didn't go straight to his brother's estate. He stopped at a small lounge first. I stayed hidden, watching from the shadows. That's when I saw the first red flag. His brother came, and they hugged like lovers who hadn't seen each other in months. I blinked. It was too long, too intentional. My man's hands lingered on his brother's waist. His brother whispered something in his ear, and they both laughed like they shared a secret the world couldn't touch. They left together, got in one car. I followed, my heart racing. By now, my fingers were shaking, but I kept clicking refresh on the Uber map. They were heading to the brother's apartment. Not a hotel, not a club, home. I told the Uber to drop me 2 streets away. I'd been there once. His elder brother had hosted Christmas lunch last year. He smiled like a gentleman, called me our wife. Now I was standing outside his gate, heart pounding, hand on the wall for balance. I didn't know what I was looking for. Maybe them smoking, drinking, planning some shady deal, but not what I saw. Not that. Through the half-closed curtain, I saw my boyfriend's shirt on the floor. And then, I saw knees. His. He was getting physically intimate with his brother. I froze. My knees buckled. For a second, I thought maybe my eyes were playing tricks. But then I heard it. His brother's voice, saying, "You missed this, didn't you?" And my boyfriend's reply, "Always." I left. Quietly. Didn't scream. Didn't cry. I just walked away from the gate like a ghost. No one would believe me. Not even my own mother. Because this wasn't cheating. This was something else entirely. I stayed up all night, staring at the ceiling, eyes open, body numb, because I couldn't understand what I had seen. And the worst part? I wasn't even angry. I was confused, curious, shattered. 2 days later, he came back home, acted normal, even brought me suya and my favorite soft drink. He kissed my forehead and said, "I missed you." And I smiled, because I knew everything, but I wanted to see if he'd lie. That night, I asked, "Babe, you ever been with a man before?" He laughed, hard, said, "What kind of question is that?" I didn't push, but I watched his hands, and how he avoided my eyes. Guilt has a smell. I could smell it on him. It took 3 weeks for me to break. I brought it up again. This time, I didn't ask. I told him what I saw. His face dropped. He didn't deny it. Didn't beg. He just whispered, "You weren't supposed to find out like that." He said it started in secondary school. His brother had a way of making him feel safe. And when their parents fought, it was his brother's room he ran to. That's where the touching started, where it all changed. He was 13. He said at first he was scared, then ashamed, then addicted, because his brother knew how to touch him, speak to him, control him. And even when he grew older, he never stopped going back. I asked him why. He said, "Because he made me feel like I was enough, even when I hated myself." And I realized that this wasn't just sex. It was bondage. It was trauma wearing a familiar face. He told me he loved me, that he was trying to stop, that he wanted to be normal. And I laughed, because what's normal when your heart is torn in two? One part wants to run. The other part wants to stay safe. He begged me not to tell anyone, said he was going for therapy, promised to stop seeing his brother. But I knew deep down, this wasn't over, because some chains are invisible. Some addictions come wearing your brother's face. I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw them. Not just what they did, but how familiar it looked, like something that had been happening for years. So today, I'm going to his brother's house, and I need to look him in the eyes, just to see if he flinches. All 3 of us want to see. My boyfriend, his brother, and me. Whatever this was, it had gone beyond logic. I wanted answers, clarity, closure. So I told my boyfriend, we're going to talk this through. All three of us, together. He just nodded. No hesitation, no fear, almost like he wanted it to happen. But then I added, I'm calling your dad too. Let him hear this. Maybe he'll help us settle it. That's when I expected panic, shame, and maybe worry. But he said, okay. He just nodded. No hesitation, no fear. That shook me, because what man hears, I'm calling your dad into your sexual mess, and says okay? That silence, that calm. Something was off, deeply off. But I said okay, no problem. We agreed to meet at his brother's house. Neutral space. I got there first, then my boyfriend, then his brother. He opened the door like he was expecting something sweet. Not judgment, not correction. We sat, we waited. His brother kept throwing glances and little touches. His hand lingered too long on my boyfriend's thigh, and my boyfriend didn't pull back. I was boiling. I kept checking my phone. His father said, on my way, don't start without me. We waited, and that silence between the three of us, it was heavy, sexual, wrong. Finally, the door opened. Their father walked in, calm, soft smiling, wearing white, like he came for peace. But what he brought was more than peace, was peacefully chaotic and traumatizing. But hear me out first. You called me here to be the father, he said, to help clear the air, right? I nodded. Even my voice was afraid of him. He looked at all three of us and said, let's talk about where this really started. No one interrupted. Then, suddenly, to my greatest surprise and shock, he turned to his first son, his own son, held his face, and kissed him on the lips. Slow, familiar, not once, but twice. I had a heart ache instantly. My breath left me. I didn't blink. I couldn't, because it was real, because the brother kissed him back, and my boyfriend didn't move, didn't flinch. Their father looked at me, smiled, and said, they're only doing what I taught them. I love them the way a man loves his wife. It's not sickness, it's devotion. My body felt numb, like I wasn't inside it anymore, like I was floating above it, watching the worst kind of truth unwrap itself, like I was watching a family tradition of madness unfold. I showed them love, he continued, real love, before the world corrupted it. I gave them something whole. And my boyfriend? He was just looking at the floor, like a boy in church. That was it. I didn't ask questions. I didn't cry. I got up, picked my bag, told my heart to shut up, and I walked to the door. My boyfriend followed me. You weren't supposed to see this part, he whispered. I was going to tell you, but I didn't know how. That part shattered me more than anything, because it meant this wasn't new, wasn't a mistake, wasn't confusion. It was deliberate. It was generational. This wasn't just a twisted affair. This was their family bond. I felt sick, used, like I was invited into a play, but handed the wrong script. They weren't hiding this from the world. They were hiding it from me, because I was the outsider. So I did what survival taught me. I packed my things, took one last look, and left. No dramatic exit, no final words, just silence. I never went back, because some stories don't need closure. Some people don't deserve explanations. And some houses, you don't pray over them. You burn the bridge and save yourself.